YouTube, what's good? I am Duelist Nickel, back again, bringing you more Synchron content in Master Duel. And today, I'm going to focus on the number one card that all of us combo players absolutely hate to see, the dreaded roach, Maxx C. Now, for a lot of decks, when you get Maxx C dropped on you and you don't have an out, you might just want to surrender on the spot, or maybe you might set up a weaker board and just pray that you can survive the turn, right? But with Synchron, Maxx C is actually going to be a win condition for us, because we will punish our opponent by decking them out and winning the game that same turn. The key cards in the deck that are going to facilitate this strategy are TG Hyper Librarian, Garden Rose Maiden, Triple Tactics Thrust, and of course, the key to it all, card destruction. Stay tuned and I will walk you through how it's done. With that being said, let's get right into the gameplay. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. This first replay is against a 60 card Infernoble build to show you that this can be done no matter the size of deck you're playing against. Consider the decking out. A 60 card deck will require you to summon more, yes, but you'll have more leeway early in the combo without having to play through hand traps, as they're less likely to draw into them than with a 40 card deck. The great part about these types of games is the fluidity. There are many routes that you can go into to pull this off after speeder, but there's a couple of checkpoints you need to hit. The first of which is TG Hyper Librarian to facilitate draws, and then the most important one is Garden Rose Maiden, which is why I use Excel Dragon's effect here to make Garden Rose Maiden unaffected to ensure that her search resolves. This card is key to the combo, as it will do 4 things for you. It will turn off infinite impermanence for your opponent by summoning tokens to their field, and it will make Triple Tactics Thrust live, which is how we get to card destruction most games. It can facilitate up to 7 extra draws for your opponent when used with Baron and Ravenous Croc to pop tokens, which comes in handy here against the 60 card deck. Lastly, it can be used to revive one of your Dragon Synchros from the graveyard. You'll see me use Ancient Fairy Dragon here, which is a great card to use when attempting to do this, because it can pop Black Garden once you no longer need it to search for the Kashtira spell, which will search a Kashtira monster, which will thin your deck in case you're still trying to find Thrust. Also, it will give you a free normal summon, which you can use to set up another Synchro play for an additional draw. Hopefully, as you draw cards, you will find some of your defensive cards as well, like Called By and Red Reboot, to insulate you from hand traps. As they approach 30 cards in hand, the last thing to do is set up as many negates on the board as possible to ensure that Thrust and card destruction both resolve. This deck uses Baron to floor, Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, Griffin Rider if you draw into this and didn't use it to set up speeder, and lastly, Bestial Dispater, which you can make sure that his negate is live by using Framelord Omega to banish one of your opponent's cards. Once you're ready, Triple Tactics Thrust will search for card destruction, and make sure that you do not set it to the field, of course, and then you can activate it to win the game. This second replay is against a 40 card Snake Eyes deck, and this hand features your ideal 2-card combo, Wanted and Water Enchantress. Activate Wanted to search for Diabellstar Witch, and then you can send Enchantress to summon it. Banish Enchantress to get your Adventure Engine live, which will give you a face-up card to use with your simple spoil spell, and you're now insulated with your Griffin Rider negate. This version of the combo also plays around Nibiru, because Jet Synchron is your 5th summon, so if they activate the rock here, you can respond with Excel Dragon's effect to go into an unaffected junk speeder, which will not be stopped by Nibiru. From here, the game plan is the same. First, we must facilitate draws. I use Jet's effect to search for Junk Servant to give me a level 4 to make TG Hyper Librarian later, but first I synchro into Baron to give me a live negate on the board. Order is important here. You can special summon Junk Servant while Speeder is still on the board. Then I'll go into Ravenous Croc for a draw, and to free space for a level 1 tuner so that I can now get into TG Hyper Librarian. Now I will attempt to summon Trail from the deck while Stardust Dragon is still on board. But you have to choose when to use your negates wisely when executing this strategy. You should consider that some cards, like Baron, Crystal Wing, and Griffin Rider, negate the activation of the effect, whereas Bestial Dispater will negate the effect itself. So ideally, you don't want to negate Ash Blossom with Baron, or else they'll be able to activate a second copy that turn. You're better off saving Baron's negate for something that can already be activated more than once per turn, like Veiler, Droll, or Imperm. And here is the perfect opportunity, as we need to ensure the Garden Rose Maiden effect resolves. And from here, you will just Synchro climb until you've drawn into Triple Tactics Thrust, and also put enough cards into their hand in order to deck them out. Always try to set up as many negates as you possibly can before attempting to thrust into card destruction. This third replay is going second against Umi Stun. The reason why I'm showing you this one is to illustrate how this is not only an effective strategy on the first turn, but can also be executed on any turn. So if you must give up your battle phase to play through a negate or a floodgate, and then they drop Maxx C on you in main phase 2, consider going for the Deckout. Triple Tactics talents can be good to check their hand to ensure that you can safely resolve Speeder. The strategy is the same here, except you should keep in mind that they already have a monster on board, so any Imperm they might draw is dead, and you're already playing with live Thrust. So it lessens the need to ensure the Garden Rose Maiden resolves, but it can still be useful later to banish itself from grave and resummon a Synchro Dragon. Having a second copy of Revolution Synchron in hand is useful because you can use it to synchro into Crystal Wing with a level 5 on board. Really, you're just trying to generate as many draws as you can through synchro climbing in order to make sure that you can draw into Triple Tactics Thrust. Between TG Hyper Librarian, Stardust Charge Warrior, and Ravenous Croc, you should be able to generate anywhere from 12 to 15 draws, in addition to thinning the deck through searches and summons using your other various engines, which should ensure that you're able to find a copy of Thrust or card destruction. Also, consider the Ravenous Croc can give you a draw 2 if you use 2 non-tuners to summon it, which can easily be done with Stardust Trail's token. I hope you guys enjoyed the video today, and just to wrap things up here, I know I usually include a deck list at the end for you guys to model your list off of, but to be honest, I haven't really made any changes to the list this season. So if you are looking for a full list, go ahead and check out some of my other videos. I have a combo guide available that will focus on what you're going to do going first when you don't see Maxx C, and that's going to be a Handrip for 3, as well as setting up 3 negates on the board That one uses a slimmer 50 card list. It's going to be very consistent, but also light on hand traps. Then I have another video going through some of the replays using my Duel Level Max deck list that I used for the most recent Duelist Cup. That one features a 60 card list, which is packed with a bunch of hand traps to counter this current meta. So really it's kind of a personal preference. Do you prefer the consistency of the slimmer list, or do you need the hand traps, in which case you're going to want to go with the pile. With that being said, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, especially if you're enjoying the content. If you have questions or ideas about what you want to see in the future, please go ahead and drop me a comment. Let me know. Thank you for watching.